Facebook, YouTube, What's up, folks? It's been a while since I made a video such as this one, and it's 2019. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but more than anything, I would like to talk about my playoff predictions for the 2019 season. Now, many of you guys know that I've previously said it in other videos that my number one dark horse team for this year will be, in fact, the Baltimore Ravens, and we're gonna go and we're gonna dive right into this video as far as why I think the Ravens have an excellent opportunity to become the team that is the representative for the AFC in the Super Bowl. So there's a lot to talk about. Let's dive right into it. Starting with this current weekend. All right, so this weekend, the first game I guess I will talk about will be the Colts versus the Texans. Two young quarterbacks. These are our matchups, by the way. My phone is acting dumb. These are our matchups, by the way. You have the Colts versus the Texans. You have the Chargers versus the Ravens. You have the Eagles versus the Bears, and you have the Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys. There are a few matchups in there that I'm going to say that a lot of people are not going to agree with. I'm sure of, but let's continue. Why don't we? Colts versus the Texans is the toughest matchup out of all of these for me to pick, simply because I like both quarterbacks. Um, but the one deciding factor in this for me, and the reason why I'm going to pick this team to win this, is because one of these quarterbacks have been here and done this before. One of these quarterbacks has experience. He's been on this stage before. Now, of course, Deshaun Watson he does have a slave ball championship under his belt. So he's been on a big stage, but he hasn't been on this big of a stage before in an NFL in a in an NFL playoff game. So that's why starting with this first game, the Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts, I am going to go with the Houston Texans to win this first game. So Houston Texans first, I'm sorry, Indianapolis Colts will beat the Houston Texans to win that first wild card game. So that's my first prediction. Over in the NFC, you have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chicago Bears. And you have Nick Foles, who was the absolute hero of last Super Bowl. Um, just a lot of firepower from that Eagles team. This is not the same Eagles team as it was last year. They don't have LeGarrette Blunt. Jay Ajayi is out. They don't have the same running game. But if I had to pick a team that nobody's going for in these playoffs, it would be these Philadelphia Eagles. Now, you have to understand that the Philadelphia Eagles have been here and they've done this before. The Chicago Bears have a young quarterback. He's never been on this big of a stage before. I am going with the Philadelphia Eagles, the sixth seed, to go into Chicago and pull out a huge victory. It's going to be close. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-point win for the Philadelphia Eagles as they knock off the Chicago Bears and head to the next round of the playoffs. The next one is a no brainer. You know how I feel about this team. This is my dark horse team. I'm right there on the right hand side. But if it was me, if I was the coach of the Baltimore Ravens right now, I would absolutely not know who I would start at quarterback. And the reason why I would not know who I would start at quarterback is because Joe Flacco is such a damn good playoff quarterback. Flacco is one of the best playoff quarterbacks I've ever seen. He's not a very good regular season quarterback, but if you can get this man to the playoffs, um, he's an absolute fucking monster in the playoffs. That's where he shines the most. So that would be the first thing. But from all indications, the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens will be Lamar Jackson. He presents a separate set of problems for teams with his ability to move the pocket, his ability to escape a pass rush. And they've already beaten this San Diego Charger team. Philip Rivers, a wily veteran. I would love to see Philip Rivers win a championship before he ends up retiring, but that's not going to happen this season because the Baltimore Ravens will beat the San Diego Chargers and move forward to the next round of the playoffs. And last, and last, and last, and last but not least, you have the Dallas Cowboys facing the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, Dallas is the favorite to win. If you are drinking and you're smoking heavily, then you would take Dak Prescott over Russell Wilson. You have to be a goddamn fool to take Dak Prescott over Russell Wilson. That is simply ridiculous to me. I don't give a fuck who Russell Wilson has. I gotta take Russell Wilson over Dak Prescott. Russell Wilson, a top 5 quarterback. Dak Prescott, a top 20 quarterback. Even if fucking 20. Um, I am going with the Seattle Seahawks to take that game. So, just a brief recap. This is both going on my my Facebook and my YouTube pages, folks. Brief recap. Uh, I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Houston Texans. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens to knock off the San Diego Chargers. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Chicago Bears. And I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Dallas Cowboys and move to the next round of the playoffs. After these games happen, next week, man, I will have predictions for the next round of the playoffs. But you guys let me know what you feel about this. Those are my predictions for this week's wild card playoff games. And I'm out. Peace.